over to Professor Das. Well, we have still more participants who wanted to ask questions to Professor Selvam sir, Pranjit Selvam sir, but it is time. It's already 9, so we are very sorry for that. Well, you have the number of Professor Selvam, Pranjit Selvam sir. You may directly contact
Yeah,
him for your
I'll
queries.
be happy to. Yeah.
He always welcomes questions, and he is always
Yes.
free to talk. Whenever he never says ki I am busy. He always says, even though he's busy, he will definitely respond to your call. So please call Professor Selvam for all clarifications and doubts. Now let us move to Professor Das for his final observations and declaring the meeting closed. Over to
Thank
Professor
you.
Das.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. We are really grateful to Professor Selvam ji for his wonderful deliberation and very interesting discussion after his deliberation through questions. And that is the indication of communicative action, because after a deliberation, when we invite questions freely without any bias, and I shall say
Yeah.
this series of webinar sessions organized by Philosophy Family is another indication of communicative action. And unfortunately, we experience that people are not so much interested in such type of discussion, but they do not participate only because they lack this sense of a communicative action. My point is, why communicative action in 21st century? Why Habermas is very much worried about communicative theory of communicative action? Because Western philosophers, Western philosophy that has suffered from the tendency of a non-communicative action. Because when we are making communication through language, we fail in its purpose. Actually, everybody is not listened to. There is no scope for hearing to everybody, and that is imposition, suppression, power hankering. Suppose there will be two choices: wealth or freedom of speech. People will prefer wealth. Better remain silent, accumulate some wealth, and don't put your leg in trouble. This is the attitude of people. I shall say more that attitude is available in Western philosophy. Right? If we shall study the history of Western philosophy, even philosophy is not free there. Philosophy has been suppressed by the authority, Christian authority. Pope will decide whether we will accept God or not. So communication should not be suffered from philosophical theorization. When I shall say it is the rediscovery of Habermas. Habermas, it is not created this idea; he has rediscovered it for the urgency, because it was required after long suffering from non-communicative action. What is non-communicative action? I shall say something and you are bound to obey. It is decided by the committee and it is final. You belong to a lower varna or you are poor, so you have no right for speech. Your speech will not be honored. So that therefore we are talking about democracy. In the proper sense of a democracy, we should give honor to our own thoughts and speech. That everybody should be listened to. This is lacking even in the philosophy of a Western country. As Christian authority will decide whether you will be a theist or an atheist. Suppose you will be an atheist, by your choice, you will be killed. There is a life-threatening, even you are not free to believe in philosophy. So I shall say, Habermas belongs to 21st century. Look at the period of Socrates. Socrates stated that communicative action through free dialogue with common people. He was going to marketplace and he was asking questions to the non-philosophy persons, those who are common people. And that the nature of a question was such that there was no bias. Any question you can ask, and you can re-ask the answer you got from the question. And by Illenchi method is that you will go on asking questions, and by that way you will get clarity, and there will be mutual participation among the participants. Everybody will participate in the discussion. But when we talk about Indian philosophy, thousands of years ago, in every Upanishad, there is dialogue process. And the difference between Indian communicative action and Western communicative action that has been developed in 21st century, and it was also developed by Socrates long ago. The difference is that in Indian philosophy, we believe in 4 steps for communicative action. Number one is Sravana. That means first we shall listen. We should have patience for listening. We should have an attitude of learning. When ego will disturb us, when we do not have an attitude of learning. So that is found in Indian system. So the first step is Sravana. But after Sravana, it should be Manana. That means there should be reflection. So first is dialogue, that I listened something, I taught something from my teachers, but teacher is not final. It came to me, so I shall reflect upon it. That is called manana. Then it is nididhyasana. Nididhyasana means it is meditation. I shall meditate on my reflection, and after that, self realization. These are the 4 steps in Indian communicative action. And that was in the Upanishadic period. In every Upanishad, I am giving an example. In Chandogya Upanishad, there is a dialogue between Prajapati and Indra and Birochan. Indra, the representative of gods, and Birochan is the representative of Asuras. They went to Prajapati and they asked the same question, who am I? This is the question. This is how the communication starts between student and teacher, that who am I? Very diplomatically, the teacher does not give the direct answer. The teacher gives shows a mirror and ask both of them, look at the mirror, and you are what you appear in that mirror. This is the answer. You see how dialogue continues. Dialogue starts from a question, who am I? And the teacher intelligently shows a mirror and asks both of them to look at the mirror, and what you see in the mirror, that you are. So here reflection starts. Indra and Birojana went to their home. Birojana understood by his reflection that I saw my body, therefore I am my body. And he developed his philosophy of materialism, that the body is everything, material happiness is everything, hedonism is everything, industrialization is everything. In that way, he developed his philosophy because he belongs to his own reflection, his own sanskara as the representative of Asuras. But Indra was not satisfied. Indra says, no, no, what I saw, that is not me. Therefore, he returned to Prajapati and asked that you said about my identity, but what I found in the mirror, that is not really me. Because when I am dreaming, I am absent from my body. When I am sleeping, I am absent from my body. So, how can I say that I am my body? So, Prajapati said, now you have the communicative mode of action. Now you shall become a philosopher, because you are not satisfied with a ready-made given answer. But what is happening today? If some answer is given by the authority, it is imposed upon. It is forced to believe. It is forced to resolute. It is made resolution because it is decided by the majority of people, even if it is not justified. But in Indian philosophy, there is freedom of thinking, freedom of reflection. So both were left. But Indra came back with second question. No, that is not my body. Still, the teacher gave the diplomatic answer, and he explained that, oh, if you are not your body, you are your dream. Then also Indra left, and after some days came back. No, no, I experienced that. I am not my dream. Then teacher said, you are the dreamless sleep. Then also Indra was not satisfied that I am not a dreamless sleep, I am something else. Then only the teacher explained, the Prajapati explained Indra that you are yourself. So what happened here? A ready-made answer was given. By negating that, by negating neti, we reached at the highest point of knowledge, self-realization. So what is the difference between Habermas and Indian philosophy? In Habermas theory of communicative action and Indian philosophical model of communication, the difference is that Habermas is giving importance upon society. It is social. Its outcome is social harmony, social communication, how ideal society will be established. But Indian philosophy, it is experiential. It is experiential. Yes, communicative action is experiential. We have to experience the highest reality through the medium of a language. So language is not only a method, language is related to metaphysics in this sense. Metaphysics through epistemology, metaphysics through the ladder of understanding, through the different layers of consciousness. This is the difference between Indian philosophy and Western philosophy and communicative. And there are so many examples. Jagya Vallabha and Jagya Valkya and his
Sir,
two wives.
sir, it is 9:20.
Wait, only 1 minute. Jagyavalkya and his two wives, Maitreyi and Kantayani, Udalaka and Setaketu, Narada and Sanat Kumar, Nachiketa and Jama, Kathopanishad. So here people are not worried about wealth. Jama gave everything to Nachiketa. That don't ask about your death. Don't ask about self. I shall give you everything. Ascharya I shall give you. But Nachiketa denied. So Nachiketa was not biased by the wealth. Similarly, the two wives, out of the two wives, Maitreyi was not worried about wealth. Jagnavalkya said, I am going for sannyasa, you are my wife, I am taking your permission. If you wish, I shall give you the entire property. But Maitreyi said, I don't need wealth. Please tell me, can wealth purchase me immortality? There from the dialogue starts and communicative action starts in action, in realization, in experience, in an experiential mode. So the purpose of communicative action in the mind of Habermas is, it is an imagination, maybe an imagination, it is a motivation. We hope so. It may be fruitful in future, but it is a good attempt in the sense that everybody should have freedom of speech, every opinion should be valued, and we should have we should reach at a mutual agreement, like Bergson's creative evolution, that our discussion is fruitful when we synthesize the dialectical oppositions and reach at a synthetic mode. And by that way, we become creative day by day. And that is the purpose of creative communicative action. Otherwise, it is formal, it is only theoretical, it is only it is only official, it is only empirical, it is only epistemological, it is only philosophical. So we have to go beyond that so that we can live our life very pragmatically. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very nice discussion. Well
May
delivered
not
and
be
well
there in the Western
discussed.
tradition.
Hmm?
The ideal speech situation may not be there. Well, it is not there to a large extent in the Western tradition, but it is definitely there in the Indian tradition. Ideal speech
Yes,
situation.
yes,
The
yes,
examples
yes,
that you
yes,
suggested.
yes, yes. Professor Pandri Sarvam, your last word, then we shall conclude.
No, I don't have anything to say, excepting thanking you, everybody, for your beautiful insights. drawing some parallels from Indian side, and we are very grateful to you for doing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. With this session is declared closed. Thank you. Grateful to all of you for your benign presence. Thank you all.